Welcome back, guys, on my YouTube channel. It's been a while. Finally, after 4 months, I'm starting to ride again. But today, I'll do an interesting video, I think, for most of you, because I started the episode on the 390 a long time ago. And actually, this has become one of my favorite bikes. I decided to keep this bike. It's almost my daily drive. I'll tell you more about it. But also, we've installed some upgrades and we'll install some other upgrades on this bike. But I tried to tackle this 390 build with a different mindset after a lot of criticism on these side panels because they're very expensive as they are handmade. I went and tried to get the cheapest products for this bike available on the market, just to have that cheap motherfucker mindset. And I'll tell you more because some things were pretty disappointing, others were fine. But now let me tell you more and take off my helmet. Okay, we are here in the workshop and now I can showcase you all the upgrades I made on this 390 adventure, talk to you about the GPS systems that I'm trying. But first of all, the most interesting part that I was curious to try was the exhaust. This was bought on eBay. It was the cheapest one. Initially, as you'll see while I was building it and putting it together, I had a lot of doubts on the quality. Come, Giacomo, so that I can show you. You see the shape of the bracket isn't really, come closer. See, here is touching. We'll make it go in because, you know, I like putting things into holes. But yeah, it's just frustrating. It's so nice when you get a product and it fits like a glove. No need, you know, to push, become crazy and think about solutions. But I was impressed. In fact, then we'll show you also, we did the sound noise test with the OEM exhaust, then with this aftermarket exhaust, and then we also took off the DB killer, and guys, the result was pretty good. Now that you're here on the side, I'll explain you more about the exhaust and how it changes the riding response. But first of all, I really like the stainless steel color. This finish is a satin finish. I think it looks really nice. And it looks better than the OEM that's flat and small. This has a more racing aspect. The only thing, you lose the protector. Here on the OEM exhaust, you have the protector for the pipe. On other aftermarket exhausts, you can reuse the OEM one, but with this exhaust, you have nowhere to clamp it on, so you'll have to go without. Not a big problem, but maybe if you go off-road, you could bang and touch it, so we'll see in time. This said, the exhaust actually improves the performance. I wasn't expecting something like this from a, you know, the cheapest exhaust on the market. There's not that much variation in the noise. But first of all, let me show you the sound check of the 3 different combinations: OEM, GR Moto, with DB killer and without. Now that you saw the sound check, which was pretty impressive because without the DB killer, it doesn't make that much more noise, reason for which I will keep it without the DB killer to ride around. But performance-wise, I really felt the difference. I felt the difference in the throttle response. It had much more torque at low RPM. When I'm accelerating, I feel like the bike is more awake. It's just more responsive, more ready than the OEM one. I guess that the reason for this is because the OEM one, for all, you know, the emission laws and how the bikes come out of the factory, is really like packed in, and so it makes more heat than this one and has little less performance. One thing I didn't expect is that with this exhaust I was using less fuel. I really wanted to check, you know, the difference in fuel consumption, because I thought the bike feels more responsive, I'm probably gonna use more fuel. But actually I reduced normal cruising, like going to the gym and using, you know, the highway and so on, not going 150 kilometers an hour, going 110, 120. I was was using 3 liters for 100 kilometers. With the OEM exhaust, I was on average 3.7, 3.6 liters for 100 kilometers. So really good, but I must give credit to GR Moto because it didn't start really good. When I was looking at it, I was worried and didn't think there was much quality. But for the money, the quality price ratio is spectacular. Like, I'm really happy because I felt not only the improvement aesthetically, but from a performance side. So bike is more fun to ride. But now let's move on to all the other upgrades I did, which I'll explain to you now. Going always the cheap route on this bike, I got this CarPlay GPS. Is so crap that I lasted probably half an hour and I had to take it off. It was just bothering me. Okay, for this bike is a bit big, but that's not the big issue. The issue is just the quality of the software. Sometimes it was disconnecting, so this is absolutely a no-go. Now I put a slightly more expensive solution, but I believe for most riders is the best one. This is the new device from Torque Racing. They're a company based in Portugal, and they are the creators of the DMD2 application, which is vastly used on practically every Android device put on a motorbike. In order to hold this system, I put a ram mount on the nice CNC clamp, which is okay. I mean, is nothing spectacular, nothing too good. The only thing is, on the 390, I believe that if you put something heavy, like you've seen on the onboard video, that big GPS, everything was wobbling all the way. The 390 would need probably a proper nav tower, because just look how everything moves. So this is not a solid mount for a heavy GPS or a tablet or stuff like that. You would need a proper tower. But this phone, Android phone, is great quality. You can see it really well, especially when I was riding under the bright sun. I could properly see. Then one upgrade I didn't do yet, but I will do, I will also put a handlebar control, a Bluetooth one, so that I can command and move around the map without the need of removing my hand from the handlebar. With the RAM mount, I can adjust it. But the very cool thing about this device, comparing it to this crap, is that if I stop, for example, at a bar to have a drink, here there's no way I can fix it. Someone can easily steal this. There's no key, there's nothing, and it's a bit a pain to remove the GPS because you have this small thing here on the back. Whereas for the phone, you have this charging dock, but it's really secure because it's magnetic, but also it has some plastic clips. If you stop for a coffee and you want to remove clearly the phone, it's very easy. You just press these two plastic tabs. It has magnets, but it's a really secure system. I used it even off-road because other than the magnet, you have the clips that go right inside here. So it's a secure mount. The phone doesn't weigh too much. It's a rugged phone, so it's thought to go into rain, into mud, and in the harshest environments. The phone works well. The software is pretty quick. Only downside, don't count on a super wonderful camera. It has a camera, but the quality of the camera is, not spectacular. But the purpose of this phone, at least for me, and I think for most adventure riders, is that maybe you want to record a GPS track or import the GPS track, the GPX file, here in the DMD2 app, and then maybe you want to stop and take a photo of a location to remember. For example, I go cruising around a lot to look for nice places to do video shoots or photo shoots, and I'll just save it with the pin on my Google Map. Then you can use it as a phone, so you can also put your SIM card and whatever. Because yes, you can put a quad lock somewhere here and use your phone like an iPhone or whatever phone you have, but I really don't want to take chances in breaking a phone that maybe is over 1,000 euros, whereas this phone is, I think, into the 400, 500 euro range, together with the whole system, so even with the clamp, with the charging clamp, and you're less worried about breaking it and you can keep it separate. With the phone and the charging kit, now I inserted it into the USB port, but when you buy the phone, you have also the connection to go directly to the battery, and power it. So so that you don't have, you know, the cables going around. But for me, for purpose of testing a lot of devices, I keep on putting and taking off. So this was a good solution. It worked. Went riding off-road, all stayed in place. The other upgrade I told you about was the mirror. You know, when you ride off-road with the OEM mirror, you touch with your arm. I went for the double take mirrors. These are foldable. You can, you know, move them around with the RAM mount. Only thing, if you go, for example, when I go to the mall or whatever, I tend to take it off because this is easy to steal, and they are built of really good quality, but they're not cheap for sure, like other things we put on this bike. So this really nice upgrade that is needed if you're riding off-road. The other upgrade I did, I had to do it on the seat. We changed the OEM seat, which is divided in two pieces, put the power part seat, which is all one piece, with a nice Selle dalla Valle seat cover. This is the same seat cover I put on all my rally builds. So you have the quick dry leather, camel humps with memory foam here, which makes it really, really comfortable for Galia when she's riding on the back of me and we're going to the gym. Then on the side, we have the carbon texture, which blends in with anything, any color you go for the bike. Increases comfort, and when I'm riding alone, I have really a wide space to move, even if I'm a bit uncomfortable, because this bike is relatively small if we compare it to other adventure bikes, which is something I like, and I think this probably is the ideal bike for someone that is not too tall. But I also got the question, if I'm like 185 or whatever, I'm 183, is it comfortable? In my opinion, yes. I liked it because the thing of this bike, and the reason why I'm using it most than any other bike, is the ease of use. It's very light. You know, you have enough power to go on the street and do whatever you want, and you just don't have to think about it, because even the price is about, I think, 6,500 euro. I think now it went up to over 7,000 this year, but you know, still it's not the price of spending 20,000 euros on a bike, so you're less worried about this. Only thing is the wheels. This has, you know, it doesn't have the spokes, but now it comes out with spokes and you can get the wheels separate, so you can do that upgrade. The last upgrade I did is with Kevin. We designed a sticker kit. We wanted to experiment, so we added some purple and so on. I'm not 100% satisfied with this graphic, but we had to try and put it on the bike. I'll probably change it and change the plastics. I want to go with black plastics and do a full black and white with some red details with matte finish, because I like it more and it looks better in the photos. Then we have the side panels, which you saw already in another video. I'm also thinking about changing the hand guards, maybe going with the factory rally team hand guards with the added air protectors. Probably could be nice. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me in the comments any question. Let me know if you already own a 390 Adventure, or if it's a bike you never considered. In my opinion, the 390 Adventure could be one of the ideal adventure bike segment, you know, in the like 300 to 500 cc, because of the ease of use and because it can appeal to many more riders, from, you know, an expert rider like me that I'm having fun, to a really amateur rider, someone that always rode just a scooter and want to start getting into adventure because of how easy it is, inexpensive, even though, as you've seen, some inexpensive accessories are good, some are really crap and you just throw away money. So do your research, stay tuned because we'll change the graphics and more, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!